We create a cushion, fill up with emotions, and consequently we can control them.
Memories. You're talking about memories.
So this is about Suzanne Somers, who apparently died recently. I remember her dying much earlier, and this is the first sort of like anchor memory kind of thing. I remember her dying early 3 years ago or 10 years ago. I want to say like somewhere between 2017 and 2020, she died. She had some sort of illness and she died. And I remember seeing an interview or something with Joyce DeWitt, her co-star in Three's Company, about it and how, what it's like to be the only person left because John Ritter, the other star, had died. And there was a lot of controversy surrounding Suzanne Somers because she left early because of low pay and women in Hollywood and all this kind of thing. So then this comes up that, well, I see this pilot episode from Three's Company. There's two of them apparently. They're very weird, and it can be. Someone said in the comments of one of these that it's like from an alternate universe, and so that I was just like, wasn't Suzanne Somers dead? And I'm like, it took me a second to just focus on it, and I saw a video of her where she's talking to her husband, and it looks like the social media of today. I was like, that looks very recent, and yeah, so like she's been alive, quote unquote, all this time, and there's lots of stuff with her on it, and this is definitely Mandela effect is such a horrible name, but that's what it is. That's what we call it, and that's another thing. Mandela effect about people thought he was dead, and this is like I was one of the people where he was alive the whole time, so I don't have that memory. But this is like something I watched this when I was a kid, so it's like just there in my head, and I remember like so when these people die, I take a little more note. So I remember it. Of course, these celebrity deaths, you're like, okay, they're dead. Okay, they're dead. So you kind of like shuffle it down. I didn't write it down in my diary. You know what I mean? So exactly when she died back then, that's not specific, but I remember the things surrounding her death. I just wanted to kind of get into. We don't know what's causing this. There's all sorts of strange stuff. So she was on some, just kind of going back, and the name spelling, I remember 2 M's, and I couldn't even swear it was like Summers, with an U, but you can't find any residue for that. But just that she was in this show, this is a 1971 paper, like an interview show way back then. Just seeing what they're looking at right there, she's involved in this kind of occult stuff, for sure. And, even in aerospace, that kind of thing at the higher levels, people lower level don't know. They're thinking science and this stuff. They're making advances, etc. But there's some other stuff going on there. And it has to do with like sex magic. And there's something going on there sexually. I don't know what it is, and I can't explain it, but that is involved too. And I think that's something that's not talked about because it's kind of a, it can be a weird subject, to bring up. Because I can't explain it. There's something, because she was a fantasy object for a lot of guys, and so that's part of it. And she knows that, and she was using that as part of her thing. And she was very like, and here we go again, Alan Strong, artist pornography, right there. And this is from 2015, and I found this very interesting because this has her in it. Some guy, what is he? Some pills and stuff, and the things she does. Actress Suzanne Somers, 68, set her goal at 110. That's how long she wants to live. Takes 40 supplements every morning, followed by a bolus of estrogen directly into her vagina. Then, like she's obsessed with at her age. Oh, this 1994 movie is Seduced by Evil, and I think that like I know people star in all sorts of cheap thrillers and stuff to make money. I think this is subsurface of what we see, and with these people reappearing in life, it's land masses shifting, and the people around us just not tuning into this. They're not focused on this, and some people don't want to look at it because, well, there's evil going on here, and that's understandable, but they don't mind looking at it on other subjects, like politicians. If a politician's doing evil, well, then that's okay. Even though these politicians at this higher level, they're moved by things. And I'm saying this to other people, followers of Christ. What are we doing not focusing in on this stuff? Some people just have a block in their minds, and I understand it's not for everybody. Not everybody wants to be into every subject. I get that. But this is something, things are going on in the world. We see this big events, in the Middle East, right? It's always something there. And in our own country, we see how things are just shifting around. There's a lot going on. I get it. But this thing, people coming back to life. And it's just like this vague, it's even for me, it's difficult to grasp onto. I didn't write it down. If you write it down and note it, it will still be there. But not in the public sphere. Only bits and pieces will survive. So I just wanted to put this out there. This isn't about her name. This is about her coming back from the dead and having a whole storyline following her through. And it just, people just being like, oh, she's dead. I do, favorite star from childhood. And I just wonder too if this ties in with the whole thing that was plugged into people this past few years. Like, will we start to see some of these people reappear? You know what I mean? Like weirdness like that. Like if these stars are doing it, like an indicator of what might be happening and what might happen in the future. I mean, was she like just like this? I mean, like what kind of creature was she? Was it she just this manifestation of a person and not real and soulless? You know what I mean? I mean, maybe that's what's been going on the whole time we were watching on the television show. We were just watching this soulless vessel. I mean, we could be seeing this. I mean, this isn't about NPCs. I think we're looking at people who like are not the NPCs, like background characters. This is a foreground character, and culturally speaking. This isn't some sort of Hollywood trick or misremembering. Are there just a bunch of soulless people around? That might be a better way to put it. People who are soulless and just not paying attention, Not paying attention.
When I have the map, I will be free, and the world will be different, because I have understanding. Understanding of what, Master? To watch us. Soon I shall have understanding of video cassette recorders and car telephones. When I have understanding of them, I shall have understanding of computers. And when I have understanding of computers, I shall be the supreme being. God isn't interested in technology.